Hello, ladies. My name's Angela. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and for looking at this information on how to learn how to rebalance your hormones naturally, especially as you get into your 40s and beyond, and your female sex hormones are lowering and changing. With this often comes many different symptoms. I want to talk to you today about a symptom of brain fog. I know this is something that can get worse as you get into your 40s and beyond, and it really can literally just drive you nuts. And the reason for that is because when we're foggy in the brain, we're just not able to get things done in life. You may find that you're driving to the store, you get there, you forgot your list, you don't know why you're there. You come home with the wrong things or nothing at all, and then you've got to go repeat the whole process again. You may drive to work, sit down, intend to get things accomplished on your computer, but you sit down to start and type, and you can't even actually remember why you're typing, what you're typing. You're just in a complete fog, not able to accomplish or get anything done. You may forget things at home. It may be influencing your ability to just get through everyday life. It's often very frustrating. You might be ending up more irritable, feeling more depressed, more down, because it's happening month after month after month, and it seems to be getting worse. If this sounds like you, you're probably looking for a solution. And many women will look to the solution with imbalances in their hormones by adding in some hormone replacement therapy. So this is a very common treatment for this symptom. And sometimes when women are postmenopause as well, they will be doing this to help them with that mental clarity piece, because it may not just be happening at a certain point leading up to your cycle. It may be happening more all of the time because you're not having as much fluctuations with the highs and lows of the female sex hormones postmenopause as you are leading up to. Regardless, this symptom is something that needs to be addressed because there's no doubt it's affecting every single aspect of your life. And I want to let you know that I've also suffered from this symptom. I've had it on and off for many years. And until I really figured out where the brain fog was coming from, I was just really spinning my wheels as far as trying HRT. I tried also birth control. I tried all the different hormone tricks that you could to help this get back into balance. And I really couldn't get a solution, nothing that lasted anyways. So for me, I had to actually go a little bit deeper and understand from the root where this brain fog was coming from. And really what brain fog is it's brain inflammation. So it certainly can be triggered by certain points in our cycle when the female sex hormones are a bit lower, particularly progesterone when it gets lower than estrogen. In that back half of the cycle, right before you get your period, this is common. So this is often where the brain fog really rears its ugly head. But it can happen, more often than this as well, especially if the hormones are quite out of balance. So we would think the solution would be just to top ourselves up with a little bit of progesterone, get things back into balance, and then there we go. Doesn't always work that way because often if there is brain fog equals brain inflammation, it does mean that the inflammation is actually throughout our body. It's not just in our brains. And so when we have this inflammation that's high, if you add some hormone in, it actually often doesn't do what you want it to do. So we really need to get to the root of why you have the inflammation in the first place. And most commonly for women, the inflammation will come from some things that we may or may not realize we're doing in our everyday lives. It can be related to our diet, it can be related to our sleep, and it can be related to our stress levels. So pretty commonly women are stressed. They're busy, they got lots going on. And with this stress, what happens is our body tries to compensate for this stress by producing cortisol, our primary response to stress, a steroid hormone. But what can happen over time is if we're always busy, always stressed, always on the go, we're producing tons and tons of cortisol throughout the day, and it never actually lowers. This actually can cause a lot of inflammation in the body. So just stress alone can elevate this inflammation, and it can increase brain fog. Something to consider and looking really at how to find a root solution to this. Often we need to slow down. We need to take a break sometimes, take a few things off our plate, and really start to take care of ourselves. Super, super important if you're suffering from this symptom of brain fog month after month after month. Another thing is often we aren't eating the right way. So we may be eating a diet that's a little higher in sugars and carbohydrates, or we may be eating the same way we've eaten for the last 10, 20, 15 years, somewhere in there. But actually our response to eating carbohydrates and sugars isn't as good as we get into our 40s and beyond. Our insulin actually goes up a little bit as our female sex hormones start to decline. So you may actually need to make adjustments to your carbohydrate and sugar intake to lower inflammation, even if you don't feel like you're eating a ton of them. You may still need to lower it because, again, of the changing female sex hormones to help you with your brain fog. Something to keep in mind. Another thing often is we need to pay more attention to our sleep. So if we're not sleeping properly, several systems don't reset in the night. And one of those is our ability to reset and lower and balance our inflammation. So often we need to pay more attention to our sleep. We need to pay more attention to getting to bed on time consistently. So same time to bed, same time waking up. May not seem super exciting, but it is something that really helps us to reset and balance inflammation. So if we're getting some of this systemic inflammation back into balance through making different lifestyle choices than we we may have had to have when we were in our 20s and 30s, it can really help us with our brain fog. And sometimes we need to go deeper than this. Sometimes we need to do functional lab testing. And that's what I do with every time I work with them, because I really want to understand the root cause of where this inflammation, where this brain fog is coming from. And so if we do some testing to look at your hormones, how they're being processed and utilized, we can do lab testing to understand the amount of cortisol you're producing, your response to stress. We can also do lab testing to check on your vitamin and mineral status to see what you're doing as far as the amount of nutrients you're bringing in, too much carbohydrate, too little, that kind of thing as well. So we can really get to the root of why you have this brain fog in the first place and create a customized lifestyle plan. And that usually is what is needed. You can do what I call a Band-Aid solution, which is with the hormone replacement therapy or something else that actually treats and alters what's happening with your hormones, but it really is just a Band-Aid, and it's not going to give you a long-term solution. And many women will suffer with brain fog for many, many years, not just in that lead up towards menopause, but after, if you don't get to the root of it. So highly recommend, if you haven't figured out why you're having the brain fog yet, that you connect with someone such as myself, and I'm happy to have an individual free consult with you to understand where you're at with your brain fog, how long you've been dealing with it, what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't, and if I could be the person to help you get a solution to your brain fog both now and for the long term. So if you think this may be you, please feel free to connect with me. You do not have to continue to suffer through this. I know it's debilitating. I know it affects every single aspect of your life, but there is a way to get to the bottom of it and get a solution. So feel free to connect with me. You can go to my website at www.angelasimpsonfunctionalmedicine.ca, and there is a place there for you to book that free discovery call, and I hope to see you there. The other way is you can also go into my Facebook group, Functional Medicine for Hormone Imbalances, and you can send me a message that way as well. So either way, if you are suffering from this, don't suffer any longer. Connect with me as soon as you can. Thanks so much. It was great to see you, and I'll bring you more topics of interest in the near future. Bye for now.